All right. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. What's going on there? Sure everything's up and running properly. Definitely want to be ready because, man, it's gotten real. I'm not going to lie to you. It definitely is got that feel to it, if you know what I mean. Those of you that have been on the channel for long, around the channel for long enough, you know what I mean. We've covered some big ones in the past, and this has all the looks of maybe yet another. As you can see, we have 2 moderate risk now, both for tomorrow and of course for Saturday. What I find really interesting is some of the wording that's used for some of these days, in particular Saturday, but we'll start with Friday, of course, though. So this is the current situation. Moderate risk has been issued, of course, over towards the midwestern half of the U.S. here, in particular over towards Missouri and Illinois here. We do have parts of southeast Iowa as well. We still have what I think would be mostly a bimodal event, with the southern mode being a little bit conditional. But across the board, as of right now, we do have a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes. The damaging wind threat will be the main threat. Of course, that's going to be situated over the Midwest. I do think a QLCS is going to end up forming over towards this region, so we're going to have a big line of storms with a lot of damaging wind potential along with tornado potential. And then we also have an elevated hail threat to go along with this. There's still some questions with this setup, mainly in regards to moisture, but there's been some pretty good uptrending to lead me to believe that there's still going to be some pretty good confidence in regards to the overall severe potential here. By the way, good morning, or good evening, Mia. Wow, I said morning. I'm already jumping into tomorrow. And then the big day. While Friday is no sleeper by any stretch of the imagination and should be monitored very closely, I'm very, very concerned about Saturday. This right now, of course, is a moderate risk. There has actually never been a day 3 high risk issued in the history of the Storm Prediction Center. I wouldn't expect that today. If that really happens, that would have me shook. I wouldn't lie. But with this, though, we do have a lot of large population centers involved in this area that are both in the slight risk all the way up to the moderate. And then there is a corridor that I'm concerned about maybe even getting an upgrade. And in these synopses here, which are always under these outlooks, there have been talk of, especially amongst particular National Weather Service stations, of maybe a potential upgrade being possible as soon as tomorrow for Saturday. So very, very concerning wording in regards to the synopsis and these discussions here. But let's not forget, we also have a threat on day 4. It is a slight risk. I mean, in some people's eyes, that may not be as significant, but this will be a subsequent threat to these prior 2 days. But in any case here, this stretches all the way up into the mid-Atlantic here. It gets very close to New York City. They might be in it based off the 25-mile rule, but we're not going to get into that. Then we have pretty much all the mid-Atlantic here. We have DC and Baltimore involved. Philly's in it as well. It stretches through all of eastern Virginia here. West Virginia, we have even the eastern parts of the state. Try saying that 10 times fast. That could be involved in this as well. Then over here towards the Carolinas is going to be a point of interest. I do think most of these storms are going to be in the early morning, maybe early afternoon hours. I expect it mostly to be a linear mode by this point. But as of right now, I'm not really expecting an upgrade as of a risk, mainly because of that reasoning. But if we do get an increase in instability, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe by day 2 we might get an enhanced risk. But like I said, we're still pretty far out of range for this one. How you doing, Isaiah? But in any case, let's go to the weather models here. So Also, while we're here, quick little rundown of what the upload schedule is going to be for the channel in these upcoming days here. We're going to be talking we're going to be mainly doing streams, of course, Friday and Saturday, Sunday probably as well. It depends. But in the mornings, we'll be doing an I can't think. In the mornings, we're going to be doing a observation, basically. We're going to get an early look at what the final soundings are as we head into the early morning hours. Have to see how that all syncs up with when I go to work and whatnot, but just kind of have to wait and see how things pan out with that. But we're going to do an observation then, and then, of course, the live streams will be coming later in the day. One thing that is kind of crappy right now is the fact that HRRR is still kind of uploading. We're only about 14 hours in out of 48, and we need about at least 24 to get a look at Friday. So we're actually gonna go to the GFS first here, try to buy some time. Maybe even 3, who knows? Yeah, I mean, I already knew what came with this, so I was prepared. But, you know, we'll take it one day at a time. Take it hour by hour. And just kind of go on from that point. In any case, though, I do use that a lot. I do use that phrase a lot. But let's go ahead and look at the first day here, which is Friday. This is our trough. We're at 21Z here, which is about 4 p.m. Central Time. You can see signs of diffluence beginning to form here. This is a key term when it comes to storm initiation by this time frame here. So 27 hours out, hence why we can't use HRRR, by the way. We're starting to see signs of trouble here. You can already see the winds at the upper levels of the atmosphere is looking really impressive at this point. But things actually improve as we get later into the evening. Now, one interesting parameter here, even though this probably isn't going to matter all that much, is this trough does look like it evolves a little bit earlier with the GFS here. Haven't used the GFS much in the last few days, so like I said, I do have some, like I said, usually during this range I try to look for more of the convective models, but the convective models are kind of still in that little upload phase, so I can't really look at what's ahead here yet. So I'm just more or less working with what I have, but in either case here, we still have a pretty prominent jet streak that's popped up here, especially in this corridor here where we're dealing with over 100 knots. We still, like I said, I still think strong tornadoes are possible, along with damaging winds as well. I don't know what's playing in the background here. Thought I had everything turned off. But in any case, though, this jet streak's going to play a big factor in what we end up seeing. Like I said, I mainly anticipate a linear mode over towards this region. Like I said, the southern mode is conditional. I think the overnight threat, maybe early morning threat might come into play, even as we get into Saturday at this point. Then this little reinforcing trough comes in, and this is how we end up getting our severe weather threat here towards the south. This is going to be probably the more potent of the two events, almost certainly at this point. Now, something that I'm paying extra close attention to is the potential for overconvection towards this region. Am I concerned with Atlanta and Macon? I'm concerned with both. I mean, it's going to be a nasty weather day regardless. In regards to what we end up seeing is a little bit uncertain right now. There is a chance we could get those supercells that will be a bit more dangerous, but even then the line of thunderstorms is going to be pretty strong regardless. We're going to probably get a better idea once we have a video tomorrow morning. At least that's the plan. So yeah, most likely what I'll do is I'm going to try to have a video uploaded by about 7 a.m. I would say. But I got to make sure that I have all the model data that I need too. So that's really the real obstacle that I'm going to be up against. But we'll have a better idea of just what our threat is. When we're in that day 3 range, it's a little bit questionable still. I'm just kind of taking my best shot at what I'm seeing off of the models here and kind of going from there. How you doing, G bro? But from what I'm seeing for Atlanta, I'm mainly thinking that we're going to have a linear storm mode, a line of storms, or as we call it, a QLCS, quasi-linear convective system. But yeah, there's going to be a big line of storms that ends up going through Georgia as a whole here. It looks like it could be overnight, so if you're gonna, so I would recommend maybe taking a nap on Saturday as of right now, and then being ready for any potential overnight threats. Hey, amputee. And then the linear mode persists into Sunday as well. And then we'll be watching this head out, of course, as we head into Monday evening. By overnight hours, threat's just about over. So, might be 3 days of streaming, actually. I'm hoping that I can keep up with all of it. But, gonna do the best that we can with this. Because this might be one of those marathon streams that Evan Freiberger does. We're going to do our best to make that happen here too. I'm up for the challenge. Hopefully I perform well on that. So let's go ahead, take a look at these mid-levels. And I'm especially intrigued for Friday's threat in regards to that. This will give us a good idea of what our initiation time might be for these storms as well. So, to anyone that doesn't know, what we're looking for on this map here are short waves. These short waves are highlighted by these little black contour lines. Wherever you see these ripples really start to take place, like for example, over towards right here, for example, it's kind of hard to see. But whenever you see these little ripples that aren't state borders, those are short waves, and usually that's where we end up getting our storms to fire most of the time. I think I found one right here, but it's kind of hard to see. These Midwestern states have a lot of different curves on the borders here, especially over towards Missouri and Illinois. But it's pretty clear that I see a shortwave over here as we get into the overnight hours up towards the north. An interesting thing to make note of for Saturday too is that severe threat does stretch all the way up into the Ohio Valley, even up towards the Great Lakes. So we're going to be also covering a lot of ground in general here, so this is going to probably be a long discussion. The morning videos might be pretty lengthy too. We'll just have to see how things pan out from there. But in any case, looking at Saturday, and this is interesting for your area, Isaiah. I see a shortwave that's actually popped up over here in the early afternoon, so there might be a little chance of redevelopment towards your region if there's some instability left. But of course, this is GFS. GFS in close range is sometimes a little bit questionable, a tad bit unreliable. I would go as far as to say even. Hey, Atlanta, Florida girl. But over here, though, this northern mode seems to be a little bit more active here on GFS. A lot of the convective models are kind of leaning into that southern mode too. But I think with the environment being set up the way that it is, regardless of whether we get a northern or southern mode, it looks like there is a wide sector that could be available to the potential of maybe some high-end severe weather. Like I said, this range here being in day 3, we can't get a full-on look at the hazard types, which is a bit of a pain, but on we move. Yeah, you're gonna get rain over there. It's nothing for you to worry about necessarily. If I were to go to day 3, well, actually, I wouldn't say that yet. Wow, 45. Actually, you could get some pretty significant weather. You're going to be close to it. You're actually near the hatched risk. Don't worry, Anita, I got you. I appreciate you tuning in, of course, but just make sure you tune in on Saturday. I'll be covering the area I'll be covering your area, of course, as well as mine. I'm definitely going to make sure that I have enough energy to be present for that, because that's kind of personal. Shoot, if I could, I'd even chase it, but I am not able to facilitate that. The left side of that red arrow, so you have the hatched risk then. Ooh. Looks like you might be getting a little bit more than rain at this point. You might be getting a little bit more than rain. Like I said, your hazard type is still unclear at this point. That's the thing that sucks about day 3, is that this is all I have to work with. Well, and I'm in the hatched risk myself. So, like I said, I'll be experiencing this with you guys. So if you hear thunder in the background of the stream, just know I'm with you. Literally. I'm literally with you. Well, wait, that might. Anyway. Let's go into Sunday though. So we go into the Carolinas. We have pretty notable shortwave popping up here, so expecting some initiation probably early afternoon for this region. For your area, it's going to be late in the evening, probably. Actually, I would even go as far as to say is overnight, because that's what it's going to be for our area. So usually the storms kind of lag back a little bit more towards the east. Ooh, he's going to be in the hot zone, because Birmingham and Montgomery, we'll get into that in a second. I'm going to show you just what I've been seeing over towards those regions in the last few days, and that, I'm not going to lie, it's concerning. You've been on the channel for a while, so you know that I'm not one that really tries to hype things up, but like I said, this one looks big. This one looks like it could be a big one. Like I said, there are a couple fail parameters with this though. So hopefully we don't see the worst case scenario, but I can't lie and say that the potential isn't there. So this is the real concern with Friday, by the way. This low-level jet is already screaming over towards the Midwest here, especially over towards St. Louis, so the threat of embedded supercells and tornadoes is pretty high, especially with the amount of forcing available. Then watch what happens as we get into the overnight. Now GFS isn't really picking up on it as quickly, but look what happens in the afternoon. Look at how this low-level jet just takes over the deep south as we get into the evening. Good news for you, Atlanta, Florida girl, is the fact that, well, your area doesn't seem to get as strong of a low-level jet reading as these areas off to the north, so your threat is still going to probably be notable, significant, I would even go as far as to say, but I think areas to your north might have it worse. Don't get me wrong though, this could be one of those last-minute types of upgrades for these areas over here to the east. Like I said, a lot of questions still remain there. But in any case, though, looking at that low-level jet, though, I've been impressed with it since I've first seen this on models, which has been well over a week now. And we've been pretty much talking about this almost exclusively all week. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was really making note of, is the fact that you're on the tail end of it, and some funny stuff happens over there. Florida Magic. No, it's not going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be Saturday night. For your area, it's going to be Saturday night. It's going to start out towards the Midwest. Thank you, Renita. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the 2. I'm trying to make sure I like it. But let's go ahead and look at the dew points here, because this has been one of the potential fail parameters for Friday. Saturday, well, it's a different story there. GFS still is kind of questionable with the moisture, but it does seem like the returns should be sufficient up towards the Midwest. Like I said, I really have a lot of questions with this southern mode here. The forcing's a little bit weaker there, but if you get decent instability, the other parameters may be able to overcome it here. There's enough moisture, but the overconvection might really hamper this southern mode. But the concern is also, as that storm system moves in, forcing uptrends here, we have an overnight tornado threat that could be the precursor to the main threat Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. So we get into Saturday here. Well, I mean, proof's in the pudding right here. I mean, you have eyes. You can see that there is a prominent, and I mean very prominent, moist sector here. Go Falcons. Man, I don't even want to talk about football right now. Because, anyway, well, I'm not going to get into that. Just so you guys know, I am a football fan, but right now that's not important. So we go into Sunday afternoon. The warm sector is actually really prominent here as well. We'll be here. Oh wow, another 5. Thank you, Renita. I mean, like I said, I'll always be here, especially if people watch. But I've been doing this since I was a kid, even before I started the YouTube channel officially. But yeah, I love talking about weather, especially severe weather. But also, if it can help people, then that's even better. Okay, so the moist sector finally leaves as we get into the overnight, and then let's see. I'm really curious to see what GFS has for this, because like I said, global models are not known for really highlighting CAPE here. Like, as far as instability is concerned, the convective models do a better job of picking up on higher CAPE readings. But at this range, though, sometimes GFS does a really good job. But what I'm seeing over here as we get into the early to mid-afternoon for the Midwest here, there is, I don't know, Bacon's out of range. He's all the way back in Kansas, so he's not really going to be able to do much anything, sadly. And then on top of that, he's still in school anyway. If he could, I'm sure he would. Oh yeah, speaking of which, you missed it yesterday. Guess who's Skywarn certified now? Anyway, though, this is not about me. Let me actually go back and take a look at... Oh, you're good, you're good. Well, I won't be planning any trips overseas anytime soon. Oh, okay. Alright, let me see what the question is. No member badges right now. Oh. I actually did the, I actually went through the Skywarn spotter course recently, and I'm officially a Skywarn spotter for the National Weather Service. It's not like it's more of a volunteer service, but you know, maybe every once in a while, if I can get everything set up properly, you might see a chase out of me. Obviously, I would be mainly chasing towards the southeast, which is freaking scary considering the terrain here is absolutely horrible for chasing along the road network. And the fact that whenever you get big storms like what we're going to get, 60 mile per hour storm motion doesn't really bode well for trying to document severe weather. But hey, we'll do our best. Oh, but to answer your question, contingents, just in case I didn't, just in case I didn't. Uh, I don't know if I necessarily want member badges. Definitely want emojis for the server, and of course for members as well. Definitely want them for the server though, if nothing else. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the southern mode. So we're going to go towards the Mississippi Delta here. Just let me know, and I'll try to see what I can do to help along with that. Wow, this is a solid audiograph, but it isn't anything compared to what I'm about to show you guys. Oh boy. Let me go one more frame here because I am a bit curious. Oh yeah, I mean, just chasing around big cities in general though is really sketchy. And then for the most part, the area that I live in, it's mostly urban, suburban areas. So, like I said, this storm system, it's gonna be hard. It would be hard for me to chase that one, and I'm not set up to where I could even do that to begin with, considering the fact that, you know, a little short on funds right now. I'd need a boatload of funds just to drive out towards like Alabama. Even then, a lot of work needs to be done to my car right now, so there is that too. Yeah, Atlanta gets tornadoes. A lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't realize that. And that's why Dixie is so concerning whenever you get these big events like these, you know, because the fact that towards Dixie there's a lot more population centers. And a lot of people, I guess they let that slip past them. Hate to say it. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Atlanta doesn't get tornadoes. Well, what about 2008? And that's just the metro area. We aren't even talking about areas towards the south. Like me being a native from Atlanta, I can think of at least 5 tornadoes that I've been very close to. For example, Woodstock, Georgia, which is in the northwest suburbs, has taken a lot of hits actually. Most of them have been weak in all fairness, but there have been a couple of stronger ones back when we had the original Fujita scale. I think it was either it was 03 or 04. There might have been one that was an F2, maybe an F3. There's one I almost got hit by directly when I was 8. I didn't know. I never got to find out the official rating. Apparently, rumor has it was F3. But I wasn't able to figure out how to read reports back then. But anyway. But yeah, a lot of people have this sense of delusion that Atlanta doesn't get anything. Yeah, Manuel's from Indianapolis. Alright, so let's get to tomorrow here. Yeah, Manuel's from Indianapolis. Alright, Atlanta, Florida girl. This is what I've been seeing the last few days. Now, this is just the GFS here. The convective models look even worse. But, considering the environment, wow, this is taking a while to load. It's a surprise. First time I've had this issue. Oh, this actually isn't that bad from GFS, which is surprising. Why is this loading so slowly? Trough progressions, maybe the trough progression's a little slower on GFS for Saturday. What the heck? Oh, there it is. I was about to say, I was like, hold on, something isn't right here. Something is very wrong here. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I've been seeing throughout the week. I was just like, I was really thrown by that for a moment here. But Put it in perspective for you. Explosive environment as far as instability is concerned. Really low lift index here. We're at the -7s and the -9s. About -4 is a good threshold number. But instability's there. We already talked about the wind shear, especially at the lower levels. This loop in the heliograph kind of confirms it here, especially when you have it going straight up on the y-axis here and then turning pretty abruptly towards the x-axis here. For those of you that are still dealing with any sort of graphing or are currently in school right now and dealing with the mathematics, yeah, this is a nasty look when it comes to severe weather, simply put. But yeah, I've been seeing soundings like this over the last few days. We're gonna see. I can show you plenty more, especially once we get the HRRR up. Alright, it looks like we're actually in range now. I know contingents. The only thing was I was still waiting for HRRR to load. It is up now, finally. It's almost fully uploaded, so we can even take a look at Saturday now soon. But yeah, just from looking at 18Z was pretty crazy, but I always want to show you guys the latest and greatest. Alright, so here we go. We have the HRRR available to us, and yikes. That's all I'm about to say here, because if GFS is still showing that, I'm a little concerned. There is, however, one thing I want to make mention of when it comes to GFS here. Daggone carpet beetle is popping up in my room. But one thing I want to make mention of, there's been some talk that HRRR has kind of been overmixing a little bit for this region here and downplaying the moisture over towards the Mississippi Delta for Saturday. So if we get over convection, could hamper the storms a little bit. Not a guarantee as to whether or not we would end up seeing a bust on an outbreak, but maybe it could be a downtrend. I'm just trying to be optimistic because, like I said, the way that the picture is painted right now for this event, it doesn't look good. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that we might have actually lost a couple of fail parameters. Because one of the key parameters that I was looking over was the potential for cloud cover and early morning action to kind of limit the event. Not saying that that can't happen, but the likelihood has dropped off. Okay, so this is about as far as we can go in regards to Saturday here. But you can already see signs of upper level turbulence here, maybe even short waves being prominent at the upper levels of the atmosphere. Looking at the 700 millibar, I'm just going to go straight to this frame here, and there it is. Short waves are pretty clear cut here. You can see one right here where I have the cursor at. You have another one over here towards Alabama. You have some smaller ones beginning to develop over towards New Orleans, Tupelo, Mobile. So could be an early start for Saturday, and it looks to last all the way into the overnight here. Looking at the low level jet, I mean, it's pretty well known across all the models that I've seen up to this point that as far as the wind profile is concerned, it looks insane. So, like I said, if you don't have to be out over towards the deep south on Saturday, I would actually just recommend staying in and just being ready in case anything goes down here. Odds are you're going to get some kind of big storm. Odds are you will get some kind of big storm. Question is just what type of hazard will come with it. Best case scenario though, a fail parameter does kick in and we end up seeing nothing. But like I said, unfortunately that likelihood seems like it's dropping. Now, one other thing about me, and a lot of you know about this as well, I don't like to compare events. Some people have been looking at analogs and comparing this to some prior events that I'm not going to mention the name or dates of, but and then contention mentions it. Yeah, that LLJ looks insane. I'm not gonna lie. So, and then on top of that, like I said, the wording that I've been seeing from the SBC does have me alarmed, to say the least. But like I said, no two events are the same, and especially for an event that hasn't actually happened yet, I'm not gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be exactly like this event or that event. Just causes unnecessary panic. But like I said, these parameters right here are extremely dangerous. There's the dew points, for example. Moist sector is even more insane than what was being shown on GFS, which is usually a given, typically due to the fact that, convective models tend to catch on to those more fine details as we get closer into range. I get what you're saying. All right, so let's actually look at that. Actually does make sense, G bro, because I mean, the thing about it is, even if you don't get severe weather from this, I'm gonna actually go ahead and take a look at that low pressure, because it's actually been a while since I've looked at the surface ones. But let's go back to a loop here as well. But this low pressure itself that's going to be associated with the storm system is still going to be ridiculously strong, which is the equivalent basically of a Cat 2 hurricane. Look how low that pressure drop is. 974 is right about at actually major hurricane status. It's super close. But this is really potent. And then here are the winds. You can actually see it. Even after this storm system leaves, we still have a 975 millibar low as we get into Saturday and then going into Sunday. So the winds, and then here are the winds on the backside of this. So it's a little bit, it's hazardous. Like, if you're going to have floats out, you don't want them out in 40-mile-per-hour winds. That's a recipe for disaster. So I can't really blame them for that. Not at all. All right, let's go to cloud cover and get an idea of what we could be trending towards as we get into Saturday. Friday, I don't expect a whole lot in the way of cloud cover. And lo and behold, look at the Midwest. Clear skies. Image before bad things can happen. Oh, they wanted a bar hop? That's their business. I can't, I'm not going to scold anyone for that, but all I'm saying is you should be careful, regardless of whether there's severe weather or not when you're doing that. But like I said, it's not really my business. In any case, though, cloud cover begins to increase as we get later into the day. This will be right around the time the storms will fire, so almost matches perfectly. But yeah, if that moisture continues to uptrend here, big problem. In fact, let's go back to that real quick. And there it is. And notice, like I said, it seems like both Friday and Saturday look like they could be prominent overnight threats. And then as we get further into Saturday, of course. Oh, wow. This is the most impressive dew points I've seen yet here, especially over towards Tupelo. Look at the dew point 70 here. I'm almost concerned in particular for this region in regards to not only the threat of strong tornadoes, but most likely rain wrap to go with it. Why are these soundings taking so long to load? I'm struggling to understand what the problem is. Maybe so many people are on pivotal weather that it might be on the verge of crashing. There we go. Yeah, I think as we get closer to the event, more and more people are looking at the weather models now, especially with this being already considered as a high end event. It's definitely, like I said, it's definitely a high ceiling event. But, you know, jeez, man. Yeah, this has to be a traffic issue. Might have some CPUs down. Yeah, whatever the case is, though, it's a real struggle to go frame by frame here, as far as soundings are concerned. But at least the site itself is working. We can look at the hodiographs with the surface-based cape, though, so it's not the end of the world. You just won't be able to pinpoint, which it does. That does suck, but it is what it is. But in either case, though, what's that? Oh, had a message pop up on my phone. Sorry about that. Let's actually go ahead and look at that instability. "47 hours in, we only got one more to go finally. And then the full HRRR will be at our fingertips here." Yeah, that's also true. Especially as we're getting towards the tail end of this. It's probably a big ask. What do we have here? Don't think storms fire towards this region, but I do want to look. Oh, dang. Yeah, I think also this is partial. I think what you're saying is true, and I also think traffic is also not helping the cause here. I think it's both. Come on. Please load. Please load. Yep, storm's not going to fire over towards this region. Dew points are too low, or too dry, I should say. Alright. This is Little Rock. Wow. We get some storms to fire over here and these organize. That could be big. Let's see what this has to offer. D Cape was pretty high with that last one. That did look like a good downdraft sounding, but that's also ahead of where the storms would even start to initiate. And that was at like 19Z. There we go. It just takes forever, that's all. I gotta figure out what that analog is when I get the chance. D Cape is actually really high on this one, though. I will say that much. Even though this basically has that supercell sounding. Yeah, so either way, no matter how you look at it, you could potentially get a big tornado or you could get damaging winds. And also, the ship here, the significant hail parameter, is actually pretty solid, 1.2. And keep in mind, this is the southern sector. So we could get some pretty big hail out of these too, but main threat obviously is going to be the wind and the tornado threat. There could be a chance that if this uptrends, they may add a 15% area to the south. I think it's super conditional, though. Any small little change here, such as convective mode, could really hamper development with that. Alright, let's look at Memphis here. This was a pretty strong Cape signal right there. We were over 2,000 joules easily. God, these soundings. Yeah, that looks linear, but that low level shear is really something though. Storm's not super elevated either, but it's not perfect. But you don't always need it to be anyway. But yeah, looking at that kinematic profile, moisture profile, or in the thermal profile, temperature, moisture, etc. Yeah, this still looks pretty potent as well. So low level lapse rates might play a small factor, but not much of one. Yeah, definitely has the look of a linear mode though by the time we get into the overnight. Nasty QLCS with tornado potential. Let me check ship on that again. Let me check ship again. Come on. Yeah, that actually is also true. And then on top of that, the lift freak, the LFC is a little bit high. So, I mean, there is some elevation with this. But also, what kind of verifies that too is the ship at 2.1. That was a good catch. Dang it, I missed the hail analogs. Yeah, there's a bunch of those. I hope you can, hope I can. I wish I could catch those. The second that you say the second that you mention that in chat here, but there's usually like a small little bit of latency. And what sucks about that is the fact that these soundings take so long to load. So if I close it out and you have something else to say, I'm probably gonna miss it. Help. Anyway, though, all joking aside, this day is, oh boy. Launch looping. Can't really get like a good look at what's going on over here. So some interesting things that I made note of here though. Seems like HRRR is going with a linear mode a bit more now. This is another good hail sounding, by the way. Cloud bases are going to be low. But yeah, this looks like this could be more of a hailer than a tornado threat. So there might be some hope here that this might downtrend. Even though the hail threat's still going to be pretty bad. Let's see what this has to offer. Yep. Okay. Maybe the timing just changed, that's all, but yeah, that's bad. But really, I think with this one, you'll get, with this sound, I think you get a little bit of everything. I mean, ship is still 1.8, so there's that. But man, I tell you, that shear is crazy at the surface to 1. At 43, yep, 0 to 1, yep, that's 60 right there. And then we have 47, so that's 43. There's a 47 at the 0 to 3. Yep, that's a Dixie sounding if we've ever seen one. Just by a little, yeah, just a little drier. Even so, most likely going to be dealing with something rain wrapped there. PW's at 1.5, 1.51 to be exact. The low to upper level lapse rates aren't the greatest. They aren't steep, but still would be enough. That's the only issue. I'm just kind of looking at this thing as a whole here. I question what I'm about to do next here. Because I'm thinking about looking at the NAM. But we all know how the NAM likes to be. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Even with this being linear, that should tell you enough right there. Shear is so strong, we still end up getting a PDS sounding as a result. That just says a lot about the kinematics over this region. The wind profile is just really impressive as a whole. Speed shear, directional shear it's the directional shear is not quite as impressive, but it is there. But yeah, that little jump from that 0 to 1 dot right here that you're seeing just kind of tells the story here. Just a lot of spin. Hey, welcome back, Torex. Well, the 0Z HRRR is in. There's good news for the most part. Perhaps not as much in the way of prefrontal cells. It looks like it might be a tad bit on the linear side. But problem is, still going to be some prefrontal cells as a result, though. And even then, the QLCS itself looks like it has a high ceiling as well. So I'm going to look at one more thing, and then I'm going to do the one thing that I rarely ever do, and I'm going to look at the damn 3 kilometer. Just so I can get a look at the full view of tomorrow here. Or Saturday, I should say. I feel like this is really against my better judgment because I don't like using the NAM. I don't like using the NAM, man. At cold buys always makes the NAM look ridiculous. Yeah, we're gonna definitely need to watch over towards Little Rock and Memphis as we get into the evening hours tomorrow, especially into the overnight. Why are you so excited about that? Yeah. I kind of want to not look at it just for that reason. But, you know, it is what it is. We got to see what's going on. Man, the STP is off the chart. I mean, it's not unexpected here at this point. It's kind of to be expected. But okay, so here is Tuscaloosa here. By the time we get towards 21, let's look at this. Well, there you go. Looks like the soundings are starting to stabilize now. We're getting much better response out of this. This literally looks like a carbon copy of what we just looked at. Even though this is off towards western Alabama, where we were looking at central Alabama, Tuscaloosa, just a second ago. Man, this environment is so stacked. No, I don't like the NAM. I really don't like the NAM. I'm gonna put it off for just a little bit longer. There's one other thing I want to look at, actually. In all seriousness. Since we're in convective range now, I do want to look at composites. Just so I can start to schedule the live for tomorrow. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be home because it looks like it's going to be an early day. But we'll have to wait. But obviously, I won't know for sure until, you know, I get through the workday. Yep. So, from the looks of it, somewhere between like 5 and 6 is when I'll do the first live. Then, dang, that's probably going to be at least 7 hours, if not 10. Because look what happens here in the southern mode as we get into the overnight. Even getting to the early morning hours, there's a little bit of action. Probably might have a window for a few hours of sleep, hopefully. And then from there, this is when that second round kicks in. Then, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Might as well just zoom in at this point because we already know what we're going to be looking at. Even though we're looking linear, we're still looking at a lot of discrete cells here, maybe even embedded. Even then, it still looks like they try to break down into being even more discrete as they get later into the evening. Yeah. Unfortunately, I agree with you. I really was trying to be... Ah, great. So NAM is still loading. We're only a third of the way through it. That's the other reason why I don't like using the NAM. And that's mainly because of this exact reason. I don't know how long I can really... I mean, I do have to go to bed eventually at 11. So, I'm trying to think. Dang, HRW is only at 27. Since you guys want to do the pretty much the meme weather models here, we should look at the FV3 that'll go along with the NAM 3 kilometer. Shoot, even the NAM 12 is loading. It's still loading now, so. See, this is why I can't stand daylight savings time. Always messing up my timing with the weather models, man. Sheesh. Outbreak of what we don't know yet, but discrete storms like that will do something. I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there. I just wish I could get a look at my own area as well. I know that we don't get a great idea of what Sunday's going to be like yet, which kind of sucks. But I think since we're in range of the Euro, sheesh, I'm going to actually go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to take a look at things through that. Really wish they had the composite reflectivity with the updraft helicities, but we'll make do with what we have. Oh, need to go to the loop here. Looks like that northern mode's the most dominant still. Also, another thing to make note of here. Well, it's going to be hard to kind of keep up with that. There's a little pocket over here towards the Dakotas here in Minnesota where we could get some heavy snow as well. Maybe even blizzard conditions. In fact, let me check something real quick while we're at it. I'm pretty sure they probably haven't issued any of those yet. No, it's just winter storm watches. Okay. Well, okay. Back to Sunday. Ah, there it is right there. Well, Euro's not really showing it as well. Really aren't going to know probably until... Well, maybe NAM 3 might show it. Doubt. Nah, no, NAM 3's not. No, NAM 3's not showing it. It's out of range still. Won't know till tomorrow. That's okay, though. Alrighty, then. Yeah, I think we're going to just kind of go full send on severe weather at this point. I don't expect anyone to be upset about that, really. I'm trying to make sure I cover all my bases, but you make a good point. No one, not too many people are going to be paying much attention to the winter threat of this. There's not a lot of heavy snow to go around. It's just really one small corridor. In fact, I haven't seen anyone talk about it on like weather Twitter or anything like that, or any socials, Facebook, etc. It's been all about the severe weather. Could make it worse if there's storm damage. Are you talking about severe weather, or are you talking about the winter weather? Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Oh, severe weather is followed by snow. Yeah, but the severe weather sector and the winter sector, those two areas aren't. It's not even close. It's way too warm. In fact, that low just kind of ejects into Canada, or kind of just pushes off into Canada from that point. So I don't expect much winter weather across the lower 48 as a whole. Look. All right, now. There we go. Yeah, yeah, look. Hardly anything there. It might get cold, might get uncomfortable, like even more uncomfortable than what it would already be if you ended up unfortunately getting hit. It's going to be a little cold snap in general across our areas of concern, but not much of the way of winter weather in the short term. In the long term, that's a little bit different. That's something that I might watch, but I'm not expecting a lot in the way of hype out of that, but we'll see what happens. In fact, since I'm waiting on NAM 3 to load, might as well take a look at the long range as a whole here. There have been a few areas where I've been seeing like a lot of high cape readings down range. Obviously, I'm not feeding into that, but I kind of want to get at least a general idea of what could be coming. I hope they realize that that snow is going to melt and that water is going to have to go somewhere. That is something to remember. That water is going to have to go somewhere. Yeah, depending where the impacts are, that could be a problem. Also, flooding could be a big concern as well. I guess while we're at it, that's what we'll do too, is we'll try and highlight the flood threat. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get up and see. Well, considering that I get up so early for work, I'll probably have a chance. Does anyone have an exact time on when that lunar eclipse is, by the way? I keep seeing it, but I never, like, kind of locked it into my head. Also, thanks for tuning in, G bro. Hope to see you tomorrow for sure. I mean, your area is in the lunar eclipse. All right, Torex. Hope to see you tomorrow. All right, so here's our potential winter storm. Then after that, 324. Not looking all that impressive, but something to still have to watch. the time, not the date. I know when it's gonna be. I'm talking about like, crap. I can't word it right in my head. Yeah, the hours. Because more than likely, what's going to happen is I'll end up getting up and I'll be able to see it as I'm heading to work. If there's no cloud cover in my area. If I see it, obviously I'm gonna post. I am gonna post it on here. Oh wait, that's the 19. We went backwards. You thought 2:30? Shoot. I don't know if it's worth all that, because it takes me forever just to go to sleep as it is. Oh, wait, hang on a second here. Hello. Might be the next trend to watch here. 327. Okay. Spicy. Gonna be watching that, and then maybe yet another towards the 29th, 30th. Okay. So at least we know what's going on downrange, at least. Obviously, there's our storm system. There's our wintry system. Not looking all that impressive on GFS. And look at that low pressure that's sitting off the Atlantic. That forms on the tail end of that system that's coming through this weekend. This actually tries to form itself into a probably, it could even be subtropical. Who knows? I doubt the waters are going to be able to. I don't know if the waters are going to be able to sustain it, but I'm gonna have to check. Actually, daggone it, something else to check out. It's crazy how there's so much going on here. Climate is indeed occurring. I mean, you aren't wrong, though. That's the crazy part. It is occurring. So here's the 27th. Yeah, there it is. Yep. And then here is the wintry side to go along with it. Looks impressive, but a lot of stuff at this range tends to. 987 already, huh? That might be worth watching as well. Obviously, at these ranges, I'm not going to put a lot of merit into it, but I'm at least going to be looking for trends. Obviously, at this range, the only models that are available are GFS and Euro. So, not a whole lot to go off of, unfortunately. Not a lot at all. Okay, let's see if NAM has loaded yet. Probably not. 30 out of 60. So slow. And again, that is 60 whole frames that we're talking about over here as well. So when you really think about it, it kind of makes sense. Let me see what's going on my phone here. I got a message a little earlier. Let me shoot that text real quick. Wondering if it's Friday. Alright. Message has been sent. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what we can do for the meantime. I mean, sheesh. Should we wait for NAM 3K to come out? Do you want to wait that long? That's the real question. Oops. It's getting close to time to shave again, too. Alright. Alright, let's see out of all of you that's left if you want to stick around long enough for NAM 3 kilometer. Because it could be a while. I mean, it still has like another 30 frames to upload, and it's going to be a little while before then, but it's up to you guys. I'm cool with sticking around. I might play guitar or something as a result, but just a reminder, I haven't really warmed up or anything, so if I do play, might not be my best performance. Oh shoot, didn't realize that was up. Was that double window up the whole time? Or did it just recently pop up because I'm using GFS? Well, that was quick. That was a quick vote. I'm cool with whatever at this point. It'll probably be up before 11, so I'm not sweating it that much. But if you guys want to see it, then we'll get into that. But yeah. Oh, 2:26. Oh, 2:26 a.m. I just saw your message contentions. Let's see. Okay. Okay, it's actually not that far. I mean, oh, it's starting to upload fast now. We're up to 38 out of 60, so we're getting closer. It's just like I said, these convective models go hour by hour instead of the global models, which go in 3-hour segments. So, as a result, there's usually more frames, so it takes longer for them to load, which is also why the upload times are different. If there's any real challenge that I have when it comes to managing the channel, it's making sure that I give the most up-to-date information. Yes and no on the quiz. It's not multiple. You can only pick one answer. It's not multiple answers, sir. There will be no yeses and nows. Now put your head down. Put your head down. Just hope I can get home early tomorrow so that way I can have everything well set in advance of the start time of the stream. Shame. Yes, shame is right. Shame! 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 Just a reminder, guys, just in case, make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already. If you did, just leave it where it is. So I guess, alright, so what do you guys want me to do, though, in the meantime? Because I guess everybody so far is saying yes, you do want to see NAM 3 kilometer. I don't know why you guys want to see a whole slab machine, but okay. If that's what you guys want, I will provide. I mean, we could talk. I mean, we could talk about stuff, or I could play guitar. It's up to you guys. Let's try not to keep things too boring around here. Well, the non-convective is still loading too. That's the thing. But if I'm going to look at the non-convective, at that point I might as well let it load too. Oh my gosh. If it that needs to be quoted. Please screenshot that contingent, what you just said. Please screenshot that. That should be made into a meme for the server. That should totally be a meme. That should totally be a meme. In fact, that meme should be at least weather viral, I should say. I know that other people in the real world are not gonna understand, but those of us that are weather aware and weather inclined will probably appreciate that. Also, while I'm at it, quick question. Um, are you guys getting a lot of ads right now? Or are the frames dropping? Okay, actually, it's the frames. Yeah, it looks like I have gotten a few lag spikes here and there. I've dropped about 216 frames in this stream. Just asking because a couple times the concurrent viewers have dropped, and I was wondering why for a moment. These live discussions typically don't get a lot of views, so I'm not worried about that. And I'm just trying to make sure those of you that are tuned in are up to date here. Huh? In any case, though, there's no point in keeping this voting poll up. Everyone's voting yes, and I expect it'll probably continue to be that way. So, that being said, oh. I wish Atlanta, Florida girl was still here. I can't lie though, cause yeah, she mentioned the Falcons. Even though the Falcons aren't my favorite team, it's actually Houston. Anyone that is a football fan that's following the off season or silly season, as I call it, some of the trades here, I tell you, sheesh, that was. It's been a train wreck. It honestly has. Oh, I know what else I could do probably as well. I'm gonna try to see if there's. I'm pretty sure there's like a network of storm shelters across Dixie. I've seen a few maps on that. I'm trying to make sure. Let me try and see if I can get access to it so that way I can post it on here. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm silent, guys. I'm trying to figure out if I can pull up the network of storm shelters here. So into the social media rabbit hole we go. I know it's in here somewhere. That's the thing about it. Uh, Please let me find this. Please let me find this. 'Cause I know I saw it the other day. That's the other thing about it. No, that's not it. Dang, I really cannot find this. Yeah, that's the reason. That's the other reason I don't like loading the NAM or looking at NAM. It's because the loading time is so slow. It's so frustrating too. I'll just be like, "Come on, man! It takes you 1,000 years to get this up, to get this uploaded." This really doesn't matter where you go, whether it's College of DuPage, Pivotal. I wonder if Weatherbell's any better. Huh, that's strange. Because there's more frames on NAM Nest or NAM 3K than on just regular NAM, so it's weird. Dang, it's here somewhere. It's probably buried though. Crap. Let me see. Let me try one more thing. I know I like the post too. I wish they had a search bar on here so that way I could pull that up. There's just so much stuff here that I'm paying attention to from weather Twitter. All right. I think I'm gonna have to just call it on here as far as looking for a sheesh. As far as like trying to look for shelter network right now. Hopefully I find it before the event tomorrow. Because it's just really hard. Because yeah, I'm just having to sift through post after post here. and I'm not getting anywhere fast. Okay. So let's see. Okay, 52 of 60. Dang, NAM is loading slow. Sheesh. Even FV3 is slow. Why do these load so much slower? I mean, HRRR definitely lives up to its name, and that's to be expected, but sheesh. I would think these other models, with them having less frames, with the exception of NAM 3K or NAM Nest, would be done by now, especially NAM 12, the non-convective NAM, whichever one you want to call it. Yeah, it's not. It's like maybe 57 out of 84, so that's like maybe 65-70%. Usually uploads by the cluster too, so I guess maybe that's why it takes longer. Just makes very little sense to me, though. I cannot lie. Okay, so I got an idea for a voting poll, by the way, if anyone's interested. So this is actually going to be based around social media, because I just kind of had a thought here. Even though I'm on social media, I try to keep my intake rather limited. But you will see the question. Some of you might not know what all of these are, though, so there is that. But all right, here is the voting poll. Hey, Isaiah. Hi, back. Well, that didn't take long. I'm gonna guess that's Isaiah that voted. Yikes. That's what I'm thinking of tomorrow. And Saturday, double the yikes. Yeah, I figured you would have said weather Twitter. I don't really look at Reddit much when it comes to weather, but I can only imagine what they would be like, especially if weather Twitter is toxic. Because as bad as Twitter can be, I've heard some horror stories about Reddit. Outside of weather, though. Of course, you tuned back in after I. Yeah, okay. So you were there for it. Oh, I was about to say. I was like, what the heck, dude? How do you. Why are you stepping away at the one time I'm actually talking about your area? Yeah, evening overnight hours is looking pretty impressive. It kind of extends towards your area though too, as we get later into the evening. And then there's like a little overnight round, maybe an early round to go with it for tomorrow too. For not tomorrow, but Saturday to go to watch as well. So like I said, it looks like this is going to be one of those marathons for me. I've only ever done a few. This might be the next one. Okay, let's see. Let's hope that, I would go as far as to say is I think we have enough. Yeah, it's like what, maybe 4 a.m. possibly? You're talking about maybe 4 a.m. So, yeah. You got a ways to go. You have a ways to go, sir. All right. Oh, thank goodness. Finally, it's about done. No, I don't think moderate's going to be there. It's going to be close to your area, though. It's going to be extremely close. Then again, you never know. Alright, so... Alright, NAM's done. Good. NAM 3 kilometers done, and then... we'll kind of go on from there. I don't expect much to be different with the wind profile. So, I'm going to look at dew points, obviously, since that's going to be a big point of contention in regards to Friday's threat. Saturday, we already know the score. Uh-oh. Now, that doesn't look very good. You can probably make this into a blooper. Fair enough. Yeah, weather Twitter's toxic though. I cannot lie to you. There's literally people that have learned how to code and they're like making like almost 2 week in advance versions of the FV3 model, for example, which is basically known for being a supercell printer. And they're hyping up the scenario saying that this is exactly what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. Because that was... Isaiah, that was a terrible message you put up. That was trash. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? Nah. I'm gonna delete it. Get wrecked, son. Shut up. It was bad. My foot, it wasn't bad. Nobody needs to know all those personal details about... Never mind, I'm not going to say that on here. Great way to get me to monetize. That's what that would be. Especially if someone tries to report it. Well, we already know the score for Saturday there. That's not a surprise. One thing I am curious about, I want to see how low the NAM's pressure is on this. Yeah, you did. And it was probably for the best. Isn't that right, Isaiah? Oh, it's only 974. Okay. Oh, wait. Never mind. 973. It's not that dissimilar, though. Incorrect. Yes, you are incorrect. Isaiah, you are incorrect. That is the one thing that is correct, that you are incorrect. Take that. Haha. Anyway. Oh boy. Do I really want to look at this? Curse you, contingents, for making me look at this. This is just gonna look like a bunch of insanity. What the? Sir, this is your fault. Okay, so at least there's some realism to that. Cape's high, but there's not going to be any sort of action there. But yeah, 12,000 cape. Hey guys, let's go play Twisted. Oh wait, this is real life. You know, so far it doesn't look all that bad. Famous last words. Oh, this doesn't look that bad so far. Do I even want to look at Saturday though? Because I already know that that's going to be the really bad stuff. That's not bad. Keep in mind, this is the NAM 3 kilometer. It's not the non-convective NAM, or NAM 12. Alright, and here we go. This looks like it's going to be bad. Yep. Well, at least it's not maxed out. NAM is actually... I'm not saying that NAM's a bad model. It's just... it's kind of inconveniencing with the time frame in which it uploads. That's why I like HRRR more. It's not that I'm against using it. It's just hard to incorporate it. Because by the time I am able to do a video, the NAM's like 4 or 5 hours out of range. A new model run's gonna start soon, and then if that's out of date, there goes my forecast. Yeah, and then also NAM does kind of show nightmare scenarios too, so there is that. But yeah, it's not that I have anything personal against the NAM. I mean, that much about it I do like. It's just, it's really got more to do with a timing issue. If I'm being honest though, this doesn't look that bad. No, yeah, that's what I mean. 3K is just kind of inconveniencing in regards to timing. Hi, Mia. Well, yeah, can't see Sunday. Okay. And I still can't even see my own area. That's what also sucks. I mean, my area is under a risk. I want to be able to look at it, but guess that's not in the cards, which is a real bummer. Hopefully, before I get up for work, I can at least get some idea of what to expect from my own area. I understand, Mia. You're good. Listen, you do what you have to do. I'm not gonna hold that against you. Y'all know me already at this point. Do what you have to do. You need to rest. You need to go to bed. I won't hold it against you. Not at all. Yeah, actually, NAM 3K is looking somewhat realistic. Actually, not quite as impressive in regards to the hodographs. Yeah. I'm like maybe 75% nice. Maybe 70. The 25% just doesn't show much until it's time. Yeah, that 20 to 30% mean. For what, a lot of these areas? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a given. Yeah, that's the reason why it's 25%, because it's in reserve. The 25% is like in reserve. I don't like to show that. And I don't think a lot of people would like it if I did show it. I think a lot of people would be very uncomfortable. Because that's what I've been told. So I try to spare people. Besides, even then, I don't really like it either. Well, I haven't seen anything maxed out on this yet, so like I said, there's a couple of positives here. Yeah, it's not looking too dissimilar from HRRR, really, so I'm not surprised from what anything I'm seeing here. Whew. Whew. Oof. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely something I agree with you on there. Oh wow, look at this contingent. This looks like this looks nasty. And it looks like everything's on the table too. That D cape is at 1026. Ship is at 2.2, and then I mean it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what this is. Well, ouch. That's all I can say there. Ouch. There's even higher values over here earlier in the day. This one's not as bad, but it still looks bad. Just in case it does take rocket science. You are a good soul, Isaiah. You are a good soul. Holy cow. Hang on, let me lock that hour. Let me lock this hour in and get in like up close and personal. Take a look at that, because it's been a while since I have seen some parameters like this. That I haven't seen them probably since Rolling Fork. To be that high. Up, there we go. There we go. I mean, I get the PDS part, but Tor, if you're talking about 3 letters when it comes to weather, Tor only is going to mean one thing. But I mean, you make a good point, though, still. This is like everyday terminology for people like us. But for others, it's like, what the heck is this? Just like, what the heck is this sounding? This just looks evil, and then of course, contingents is away. The one time contingents isn't talking in stream. PDS is used for thunderstorms now. I mean, that's fair. Well, from what I've seen, it looks like most of the radars are good. I don't see any that have had any sort of service notes or anything, so there's good news there. Radar should be up. As long as nothing crazy happens, we should be good. Yeah, but that's mainly been over towards Texas. Towards Mississippi, I mean, there's the one towards Monroe that's still down, obviously, but outside of that, we're good. Because on my second screen, I have radar makeup. I'm checking the radars right now, excuse me. And I'm checking radars right now. Everything looks like it's functional. Obviously, we won't know if it will continue to be functional up until the moment of. But if we can maintain what we have here, we have a relatively solid picture. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monroe, Louisiana's radar, Calyx. That's the only one that's the only one I've seen in our area of concern that's really been off. Well, I'll take that back. Columbia and Missouri, that one's also out. There's no message from the operator there. Same with Monroe. But yeah, everywhere else looks like it's set to go as far as radar data is concerned. No, that I agree with you on 100%. I agree with you 110%. But these STP values are ridiculous. I'm going to need to get ready to go to bed soon, though, guys. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. I didn't want to do that. Daggone it. Stay in place. Yeah, they do use PDS for severe thunderstorms. That's contaminated, but even so, sheesh. I'll be up at least an hour later, so there's that. So yeah, they do use PDS language with flash flood warnings. Well, really flash flood emergencies. Baconator, you tuned in at the very end, but even so, we're really just kind of looking at more of the meme-based stuff. Because, I mean, NAM 3K is going to look ridiculous. I mean, we all know this to be true. And isn't that Isaiah's saying, Big Mama's here? Hang on a minute. Alright. Okay, Nam. So you're trying to include my county. Well, okay then. What? Thankfully it's elevated, but Nam, I need you to chill out. Cause I don't like the way that looks, at least. I like the fact that this looks like this over my area. The good things about it is, though, the cape is low, and also the lift index is low. But even so, I'm like, Nam, I need you to chill. That's my area. That is my area. Yeah. That goes without saying, contingents. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Because it's going to be kind of hard to stream if I end up having a tornado take out the power, let alone hit my house. Even though that's off to the west side of town. That's off towards the western half of the county. I'm on the other side. But, well, wait, hang on, Baconator. Is she really the best yet? Because the question is, what dollar biggie bag did she get? If she got the $5 biggie bag, then she's the best. But okay, yeah, she's good then. A biggie bag is a biggie bag, but the $5 biggie bag is the way to go, man. Shoot, that might be something I end up having to order. It might be something I have to order tomorrow, possibly. Might get it for lunch or something. Shoot. I get the feeling that once I get back home, I'm probably not going to be... Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was just talking some smack, that's all. But, Baconator, have you seen any of the stuff that we've been posting in severe weather? Also, Atlanta, Florida girl was asking about you, asking if you were chasing tomorrow. Obviously, you're probably not going to, but just letting you know somebody asked about you. Guess we have some updating to do with the Streamlabs bot then, don't we? No, I'm talking about tomorrow's setup. Like over towards Missouri. Well, the thing is, rigged soundings are going to happen whenever you're looking at stuff like this. So, can't be helped. Honestly, these aren't even that bad. The worst ones are here. I agree with you there. This is the worst one. This is the rigged one you're thinking about right here. This is insanity. This just looks like flat out pure evil. Just malicious. Yeah, that just looks like jet fuel. Honestly, that's the best way to describe it. That kind of looks like jet fuel. In any case, though, what was I doing? I'm trying to get an idea of the timing, at least, for these areas. Desertification? Desertification. Like, why would you say that, Baconator? Why would you say that? That is mean, sir. That is very mean. Oh, shoot. I need to hurry up. Alright. So this is still looking pretty similar to HRRR, which is kind of unique considering the fact that, wait, what the heck? Now that's kind of interesting right there. Let's get up close. Make sure there's nothing up here. There is. Get that when I'm done. Oh wow, look at how strong the wind profile is. You actually have updraft streaks or helicity streaks behind the storm system. That's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be everything's gonna be there. Literally everything's in play. But yeah, that's the first time I think I've ever seen on the updraft helicity readings here of this being behind the storms. Who knows, man? Who knows? All right, let's go to the south now. Nah, this is gonna be off to your east, man. Everything is firing off to your east. You get like baby storms. You get wrecked with nothing. You get wrecked with absolutely nothing. Just get little baby showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, and then you get wrecked with nothing. No. Baconator, no. 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 You need to delete that one. That's just that's violation right there. Man is out here on some wild stuff. It's not sus. It's just what. Contingents, make sure that you screenshot that. Do not let somebody make sure that he does not delete it. That's just flat out violation. He's violating. He's violating. Excuse me. You know, this convective mode is a little bit messier than what a triple R is showing. Yeah, it also looks like this is capped a bit, which may weaken things. All right, here you go. Oh, screen capped. Oh, it's really not a maybe. Any discrete cells that mature, they're likely gonna do something. Of course, we're looking at the NAM, which is the most extreme. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Was I looking at... Make sure I got that right. Because I swear, if I was looking at 18Z... Why do you want to even know that, firstly? Secondly, what makes you think I'm going to answer that? I was looking at 18Z the whole time. That's crazy. Shoot. I was looking at 18Z. I wasn't even looking at OOZ. I don't know how that even happened. That lets you know I'm tired. Well, yes, I do train my glutes, but... Yeah, Baconator, you're on some different stuff, man, with these questions. Like, the timing of these. It's like, what the hell, dude? Do you train your... like, what? But yes. Honestly, even with work... Not as much. I'm trying to work on that, though, actually. Thing is, OOZ doesn't really look all that different. Just looks really bad. Kinetic chain. Yeah, it's hard to work out the hips. Well, I mean, hardly anyone's here now, so I mean, there's that. But those of you that have been watching, y'all have been watching for a while. In any case, though, if this turns into a gym rat stream. Tell you what. Nah, I'm not gonna do that because then you guys will make my life horrible if I do that. 2 tornado reports from Cali today. I mean, I do like to work out, don't get me wrong, but I'm not trying to post that on YouTube. Anyway. Alright, let's hurry this up because I definitely need to go to bed, especially if I'm going to try to set everything up for tomorrow. Why is it not working? There it goes. Wallet chain. The money chain. I'm not done just yet, but I'm going to speed this up here. Do I dare look at these? Wow. Yeah, I just have to make sure I don't deal with these stupid carpet beetles. I think I actually do see one that's on my door. I would love to capture it and throw it outside to where a spider could eat it. Do I even want to? Let's look. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's not going to be much different. I mean, we already know the story here. Timing's a bit different, but in either case, though. No. That I will not do. Absolutely not. I refuse. I refuse to do that. I'm not necessarily scared of spiders, but why would I do that? Why would I do that? It's another nasty one. This lets you know I've been live for too long. Well, based off the way things look, though, all I need to do is just get a vacuum cleaner. Get a vacuum cleaner, probably steam wash the carpet. That'll probably help too. All right, Mia. Good night. I'm probably gonna be heading to bed soon anyway. Well, in that case, I am a coward. Because I live with other people and the decision is not my own anyway, even if I wanted to go that route. Which I don't. So, no. Call me a coward. The way of the vacuum. Well, I need a vacuum anyway, though. Oh no, I'm about to go to bed soon. I'm gonna leave these guys in the dust. So I'm not gonna get into that. You cleaned the carpet with that, and that's why you couldn't spell it either. I'm gonna put some kind of treatment up there in that little seam where they seem to be coming out. Okay. In any case, though, let's look at the reflectivity, and then we're going to bed. This is almost 11:15. I got to be up at like 5 something. I got a video to make in the morning. So yeah, let's go to bed. Need the time frame up here. Yeah, they still look like they're prefrontal. Not quite as good as the HRRR, but still, it looks bad. And it looks like my area may get a couple rounds. First round being the worst. Yeah, and it's definitely looking like it's going to be an overnight stream, so it could be 12 plus hours. 12 plus hours. So contingents. I gotta go to bed, man. Fine. Alright. Gonna show this and then I'm going to bed right after. Yeah, that's Saturday that we were just looking at amputee. Name's not really giving a whole lot. Alright, let's just go to HRRR and look at it. Oh, jeez. Now, if you compare NAM, HRRR, and the updraft helicity, look at that. What I'm saying is the updraft helicity, it was abundant. Don't get me wrong. But it's a stark comparison when you compare these two. HRRR is like, screw everybody. I don't care if you're in central parts of Mississippi or in Alabama, Louisville either, Tennessee as well. Screw you all. Where it's like, okay, this is bad. Okay, yeah. Name's like, okay, little spot here, little spot there. Yeah, essentially. I'm just like, but yeah, basically, I'm just like, screw, yeah, HRRR is like, screw all of you. But alright, on that note, I'm going to bed. Baconator, you should be doing that with your partner. You know what? Before I go, I guess that's just how it has to be, huh? So, here you go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I am tired. You all have a good night. I will see you tomorrow for sure. There will be a video in the morning, most likely. And then, of course, the marathon begins after that point. Everybody stay safe. Take care of each other. I will see you soon. Till then, have a wonderful rest of your night. Enjoy the lunar eclipse if you are choosing to partake.